President Ramaphosa, today I address you from the hallowed space of a church, the same spaces you visited during the election period, asking for their support and their prayers. It is these very same diverse faith communities all over the country who participated in the public hearings who rejected the BELA bill. As an MP who served on the Portfolio Committee Basic Education in the National Assembly during the 6th administration, I wrote to you. I urged you to refer the BELA bill back to Parliament. Thousands of ordinary South Africans wrote to you supporting my letter. In my correspondence, I listed my first-hand knowledge of the procedural errors made in the rush to barrel the BELA bill through Parliament before the 2024 elections. In addition, I referred to the unconstitutionality of some of the clauses contained in the bill. During your last sona of the 6th Parliament, you referred to your role in the drafting of our Constitution and the need for us to uphold the Constitution. In 1994, I queued to vote for the very first time. The young girl I was then thanks you. I felt pride and hope as I voted. By signing this legislation on Friday, you will be trampling on the newfound hope and pride of South Africans who for the first time in over 2 decades experience hope in our institutions again. You will be ignoring the voices of the parents and communities who throughout the public hearings rejected the BELA bill. The many who cited the fact that they have not heard about the bill until the day of the public hearings. Your political party has consistently ignored the voices of ordinary South Africans for the last decade and plunged our country into a case study of governance failure. On Friday, you will be buckling under the pressure of trade unions and bureaucrats. By signing the BELA bill, you will ensure that the culture of government failing to listen to the voices of the people is entrenched under this new dispensation of the GNU. The courts will again find Parliament wanting should the bill be signed into law. This will weaken the constitutional order that you played a role in crafting. Cheap, divisive politics will reap its bitter fruit. Few, if any, will gain access to the Afrikaans medium schools that they want so desperately to get into. These schools have been studying the bill, and if they want to, will tie it up in the courts for years until it is finally struck down. Solidariteit, who will now be your bitterest enemy, asked the Portfolio Committee to consider adding a provision that would allow public schools to become independent schools. Rather than even exploring that, your high-handed officials dismissed the request, all in the haste to rush this bill through the House. Worse than this lost opportunity to empower and unite is the impact of the hidden clauses I doubt you even know about. The hidden clauses your officials are smuggling in under the cover of access and equity. Do you know that rural schools will be closed in their thousands without reasons needed to be given? Is that what you, a framer of the Constitution, who stood in front of apartheid officials, who refused to give reasons, is this what you will be supporting? Do you support the provision smuggled in at the last minute that will allow SGBs to only procure textbooks and workbooks if they can prove they are cost-effective? Wealthy schools, with the help of their well-funded associations, will do this easily. The schools catering to the working poor and low-income earners will have the dignity of control over their children's lives stripped from them and handed to your well-paid officials. Will you console the deaf cleaner who came to the public hearings to explain that the hearing teacher that cannot sign fluently cannot teach the class? So she has been hired by the SGB to translate for the teacher and given a small stipend from the LTSM money, that it is not cost effective. Can you really justify that you signed a bill that will open the door for abortion for 12-year-olds without parental knowledge or consent? We may differ on abortion, but what type of parent can pick up a pen and sign such a bill? Your court minions will say I am a liar. They have done that consistently. But have you read your department's policy on learner pregnancy that is at this very moment being implemented in our schools? Will it be your hand that strengthens this with regulations, making this policy enforceable by law? Your party was once a beacon of Christian democracy, was once led by people of the caliber of Chief Albert Lutuli and Marshalat Matleke. It has fallen to become an inept, dysfunctional entity that made sure that every possible mistake one can make in lawmaking was made with the BELA bill. Show respect to the parents and communities who rejected this legislation, Mr. President. Show respect for the people like my late mother, a farm worker who sent me to a farm school, who had little to give but hard work and the constant reminder to be better than our circumstances. Make the lives of people like her easier, not harder, by giving them, not some official, the dignity to control their own schools. Show respect for the great Christian democratic giants of your party and ask yourself what they would do. Show respect for yourself, for the constitutional obligations to democratic processes that you crafted. Act not in haste. I urge you, listen to the voices who rejected this bill. Send it back to Parliament where the flaws can be fixed. Your Excellency, Mr. Ramaphosa, I urge you, and with me, thousands of South Africans.